point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
That's what we're going to do for the opening
This
now?
is the whole opening. Okay.
Truffle, fancy potato
Welcome
chips.
to Kill Me Now, and I just want to include everyone in. We're eating black truffle potato chips. Truff negra.
Truffa negra.
Truffa negra.
Does not feel kosher to me, Judy.
It's
Is it?
Let's see.
Black truffle, it has like a pig thing going on.
It does not, does
No.
it? Well, it is.
The pigs find the truffles. That
Oh,
is true.
maybe that's it.
That is correct.
Oh my God! This
can
is
associate-
so. They're made in Spain.
All right.
I got them at Zabar's. That's Jewish.
That's what the bell is.
Okay. Welcome to Kill Me Now. I'm so excited. Hennessy's not here. That's one reason I'm excited. Then the other reason I'm excited is Lenny Marcus is co-hosting.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back, Judy.
Patrick's here, and I love our guest. I have known our guest 30?
At least.
At
31.
least 30.
Probably
30,
31.
31,
Yeah.
32 years.
Close in there, for sure.
We've never had sex.
Although we both like your girlfriend's ass.
Yes, we love Lisa's ass. She has the best fucking ass. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Vic Henley!
Yay, Exactly.
Vic! I can't believe you're here.
I know, me either.
I've known you for, I
Ever.
mean, all right, first of all, you're from Alabama.
Yes. But I've been here for 32 years.
Do you feel Southern?
Yeah, both, all the time. I feel totally hillbilly New Yorker. There's certain things that I still love. College football season's coming up. It's 45 days away. I'm already excited about
So
it.
your brother,
My two brothers.
both of them?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Terry.
No, they both played a scholarship on Auburn, and then one was an All-American, and the other one got kicked off for selling weed.
Which one?
Mike.
The middle one.
Mike,
middle one.
Mike,
Yes.
who has no
Mike
middle
Henley.
name.
Mike Henley, who has
Mike
no middle
Henley.
name.
So they wait, and how many kids altogether?
Just three. I'm the youngest of three.
So it's Terry, Mike, and was
Vic.
your father Mr. like Muscle?
No. First of all, it's two different dads. It's the white trash thing.
I didn't know this.
It's my mother. My mother always gets upset when I tell people that she got pregnant at 16 and had my brother at 17, Terry, because when I say that, she goes, "You always leave out I was married."
Oh God! Oh, that makes it so much better.
At 16?
Yeah, that
got
makes it better.
She
got
just
there.
yelled at me about this 2 months ago.
No way.
I swear to God, she just yelled at me about this. She'll catch it through the grapevine about me doing an interview or saying something, and
Right.
she does not mind me telling the story at all. She loves telling the story. It's just a white trash nightmare story. But I made her sound like the slutty girl that got pregnant at 16.
But she got married and then pregnant.
I guess so, yeah.
Wait, so what? Oh my God!
So
where was she from?
We're from Anniston, Alabama. Oxford is where I grew up, but
All right.
she's from Alexandria. It's out in the country. It's a little
Is it
town.
like-
It's between Birmingham and Atlanta on I-20, and all the little towns together. It's like riding around on Long Island, and all of a sudden you don't know when you're going from town to town.
Right.
But the whole area is like 50,000 people.
It's total
So-
Hillary
So
country.
it's not a.
Yeah, right.
But it's not
Wait.
rural. It's not rural. It's not farms.
Oh,
it's
it is.
shopping malls
So, like,
and strip
all right,
malls.
let me, like, as a New York Jew, right?
Sure.
In my vision of, Alabama.
Sure.
Would that be Oxford, like that I would never walk in?
There was a temple. There was? Absolutely on the main street.
No
so
way.
someone got in early and stayed.
Well, there were Jews, there were Jews in Alabama.
and then my brother. Well, if we want to skip back over to this, my brother Terry, he finally at one point did so well in his business that he got to move into Mountain Brook in Birmingham. So he's got the Feinbergs on one side and the Rothsteins on the other side. Yes, and they despised him. They despised him.
Why?
Because he had hunting dogs, and it was a quiet. It's like a fancy ass old Birmingham money, and he puts a pen in the backyard with his two coon dogs.
No way.
Yeah.
Does he have a gun?
And so, oh God, yeah, he's went all over the planet Earth to kill stuff. That's a whole separate thing.
Oh, does he know Don Jr.?
Don Jr. wishes he had Terry Henley's trophy room.
Really?
Terry Henley's trophy room's like Teddy Roosevelt's.
Wow.
No shit.
You don't know how funny that is if you ever have seen that. This Teddy Roosevelt Museum. Forget it.
I was at the Teddy Roosevelt Museum.
He's got everything. He's got everything.
Wait a minute.
Dead Wild Kingdom.
All right, so you grow up. So wait. So your mother was married to who?
Yeah, she was married
How old was the husband?
I don't know. He's probably about 19 or 20. He was the bad boy at the end of the street that had the motorcycle. It was the old,
and
stay away from him. Stay away from him. They're no good.
She was who? What was she like? Was she like a cheerleader or anything?
No, God, she was in like the 9th grade or 10th grade.
What the fuck is that?
You know,
grade.
And her do you know? Did
her
your
mom despised it. Her mother didn't like him. Didn't stay away. It was literally when they tell you to stay away from the bad boy,
right.
the innocent girls run right to him. So that's where she ended up, and she gets pregnant.
And what did he do for a living?
He worked at the pipe shop, which is like a foundry. He worked in steel. He's smoldering iron, whatever you do at the pipe shop.
Oh, he must have been
pipes.
So hot. And
you make pipes.
So good. Yeah.
They smell like
this
nasty.
Is the most non-Jew. I don't even need the bell for this fucking episode.
That was his pickup line. You like pipes?
They literally live 2 doors down, is what it was, and they were the crazy family on the street, where her parents claimed to be the uppity, fancy
normal,
people.
Yeah.
Both of them living in a shotgun shack, making $8,600 a year combined income, and so she ran to Reuben Kelly, and they got married, and she got pregnant, and then about 7-8 months into the pregnancy, when they're both going to go look at their first apartment, they stopped by some friend's house because he's like, I owe Jackie some money, and let me run by. They're on their way to the furniture store, and I got my down payment here. We're going to get some furniture. We're going to stop by. We're going to put the rent down on the apartment, and I owe him some money. So here, I just got paid. Let's pop in here for a second. And he takes her in there, 7-8 months pregnant, and then somehow or another just wanders off and disappears.
No fucking way.
Left her there at the people's house, 7-8 months pregnant. She can't go home because her mother's already said no. You got pregnant. You made your bed hard. You got to lay in it. It's a hillbilly saying. And so she's sitting here. Finally, 2 or 3 hours into this, he's acting like he's going. It's the old going out for a pack of cigarettes and never coming back.
Wait a minute.
Seriously.
He made up this whole story about how he had to go drop off money for the rent of the new apartment. And were these other people in on it?
No. 3 hours later, they're all sitting there going, well, I guess he's gone. And my mother,
fucking way.
It's hotter than shit. It's Alabama. There's no air conditioning. And she's sitting in these poor people's house with nowhere to go. Her mother won't let her come home. And my granddaddy, her dad, is trying to help her a little bit, but his wife was hard ass, and she let her come back. So they let her stay there for a week or two.
Right.
And then I think my granddad whined on his wife enough to let her back in the house.
Yeah, jeez.
And and then she.
Wait a minute.
He wasn't there. So he wasn't there when Terry was born. He went out to Colorado. We found out later, and 2 years later he showed up. He left town that day and went to Colorado.
Wait, whoa. He comes back
2 years later.
And what does she say to him?
Oh,
like,
he gets her
fucking asshole.
Right.
Got the money.
He works on her enough that he gets her pregnant with Mike.
No fucking way.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Exactly. No, he gets back in.
You want some more pipe?
After all that, yes. After all that, that's what.
And did he stay after Mike?
No. He was horrible. He was terrible. Well, she left him after because he drank all. Once Mike was born, they started hanging out. Then she realized she was better off without him because he drank all the time and wanted to clock her and beat her up.
Right.
And was very abusive.
Right.
And they had a house next door to the grandparents. They never left that street.
Right.
They never left Willett Street.
Willett.
In fucking Blue Mountain, Alabama is where they were living. And so she started getting tired of his shit and formulating her exit plan. So a new GE plant came to town.
Oh.
General Electric showed up.
Yep.
Right.
And so there were jobs. So she's on the sly. She's going out here. She's putting in her application. She's getting a job. And
she kicks him out,
saving her money, saving her money. So she's just going to duck out on him. She's going to leave him where he is. And so,
did she take the kids with her?
This is the classic story. But she loves telling this. Is her favorite part, but it's sad and weird. But she's there, and he's caught her mid moving out. He's come home from work early.
Right.
And so she's got all the shit in the car. She's got them packed up. Terry's already in the car, and she's going back in to get Mike, who's like a baby. He's like a year old or so, right? And so he comes in, sees it all, starts kicking ass and trying to beat her up and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and they're running around, and she grabs Mike up, and she's making the mad dash across the front porch, and she goes, I would have made it if there hadn't been a goddamn hula hoop sitting right there. He grabbed the hula hoop and hooked her with the hula hoop and yanked her ass down. Yes, holding a baby. Holding a baby, yanked her ass down. And so Mike Henley to this day will go, that's why I'm this way. This is why I'm this way.
No way.
He's been doing the same joke for 56 years. That day, it's because I banged my head on the concrete that day, and I've never been right. It's all her fault.
Oh my God!
So this is all completely true.
Crazy.
And
Wait, so he pulled her back in.
He pulls her back in. She finally gets away from him. Somebody came up, like my granddaddy, her dad saw this going on, came over, he got involved. So she gets in the car with both of them and drives away and starts her new life. And
where?
And 10 miles away in Oxford. But
He'll never find her.
It was the old school where he did something really creepy. He was like stalking her, and it was like really scary, like you see in the movies.
Right.
And then, but he did something gross, like he like peed in her car or something.
Ew! What the fuck?
Because he was a white trash, creepy, fucking psycho, abusive, alcoholic fuck, And the peeing. So
try to really, hold that.
So she's going into she every time he was stalking her, she was going to court, and it's just like you see nowadays. They're like, unless you can catch him red-handed doing something, we can't help you.
Right.
And so peeing in the car made him, even though this is way pre-DNA or any of this, the judge pulls out some sort of, he brings him in. This is enough to get him in front of the judge, and he says, look, we know we can do samples and tell that it's you that peed in the car.
Right.
And now we believe everything she said, and issues the equivalent of a restraining order and tells him blah, blah, blah. And that was
Did
it.
he obey the restraining?
He did, yeah. He never did anything. And then the next lady, he married, he was single for a few years. He ended up just drinking himself to death, lived in a hotel. And he married another woman, and she shot him. He was so awful.
No fucking way.
She was so. He didn't kill him, but she shot him. He was so awful to her that she's like, bam. Gloria.
I hope she
was
didn't
right.
go to jail.
No, not at all. Hell no.
Okay, good.
Total self-defense, crazy, psycho, wife beating.
Right.
Thing,
So wait, where is he now?
He's dead. He died in the late 80s, probably.
Did you ever talk to him at all?
When I was little, I didn't know we had different dads because we all had the same name. She starts dating my dad a few years later. He adopts Mike and Terry. The reason we're all Henleys, and one of the reasons she didn't really like him that much.
Right. Who the fuck wants his stupid ass name?
Well, it's the 60s, and but she's going under it's still taboo to be divorced and all this other stuff.
But you can get married at 16.
Of course, but don't get a divorce or you're a whore.
Right.
And in Florida, it was 14 at the time.
No way.
Yes, in Florida, with parental consent. But Alabama was 16. In Florida, it was 14
that
at the time.
Is
What psycho parent goes, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to sign off on that.
This is so not true. This is the Goyisha episode of All right.
This is what you hear about.
So did Mike and Terry ever have a relationship with him?
Mike liked him. Terry didn't. So when we would go see...
Even though Mike's the one with the bump on the head.
I know. He's still... When I was little, because again, they were always just 2 doors down.
Right.
And sometimes he would be in there and sometimes he wouldn't be. But then his mom and dad were, who Mike and Terry know as grandma and granddad.
Right.
That's their dad's mom and dad, right?
Right.
So frequently on Sunday dinners when we'd be hanging at my mom's parents' house, Mike would wander down and say... And it was always weird because he would be there sometimes and he would call him Daddy. And then we'd be walking home. I'm like, why are you calling that man Daddy? And he's like, oh, and they all just bullshitted me because I was like,
because you're
5.
the youngest.
Yeah, I'm like 4 or 5, and I don't know.
My family used to make up fucking lies to me all the time. So, my father went to the hospital once, and we had just moved to this house in New Jersey. And I guess I think he had hemorrhoids or something. It was something minor, right? But at that time, you went to the hospital for. Anyway. So I'm like, where's Daddy? Oh, he's at the hospital. Why? What's going on? Oh, well, since we just moved here, he's trying out different hospitals in case we get sick.
What?
To see which. That's the shit they used to tell me.
And you ate it up?
And I was like, oh, okay. I swear to God.
That's outstanding. I believe you.
Right. And now I would be like, oh, okay,
hilarious.
he's just trying it out in case. In case we need one, he knows which one's.
Daddy? He's at a prostitute. Well, he's just trying out all the prostitutes.
Yeah. Terry had a baseball trophy and it said Terry Kelly on it.
Right.
And then when I was able to read, I'm like, why is this? And Mom, they were, it's just a misprint. They messed up on the trophies that year. I go, Henley and Kelly are nowhere.
Right.
They both have Y.
L-Y.
Other than that,
my God.
bad day for the engraver.
How do you trust anybody after that?
So, finally, when they didn't tell me, we ran. He was married. She married my dad. He adopted them. He was around until I was about 7, and then he was also alcohol beater, crazy person.
She had a type.
So then, yeah, exactly. And then so finally, Terry beat his ass one day. So
Yeah, Terry!
One of the greatest days
How
ever.
old was
How old
Terry?
was Terry?
Terry was 19. He was a freshman at Auburn, and it was a big, strapping, strong football player, hillbilly boy. And what did your father do?
My
favorite. I've told this a million times, and it's totally true though. Terry Henley was whipping his ass so bad that he had to crawl underneath his car to get Terry to stop whipping his ass. Yes, and Mike and I are in the window watching it out in the front yard.
How old are you?
I'm 6. And so Mike's 13 and Terry's 19, and all I remember is the arm. He had to crawl under the car to get him whipping his ass, and then finally he just stuck his arm out like waving surrender, like if you'll just back off, if you'll just back off enough, I will get in this car and drive away.
And then you never saw him again.
We never saw him again for 17 years. Went by before I ever saw him again. Yeah, and it was the greatest day. We're cheering in the driveway.
So
my mother was in the bed. She had just gotten home from the hospital getting some kind of
hemorrhoid. Was she just trying it out? Just trying the hospitals out?
Trying to figure out which one was better, if it was RMC or Stringfella. that was the two hospitals in my town.
Wow.
I think it was actually she had a hysterectomy.
Wow.
And my aunt was there.
At least she wasn't emotional at the time.
So my aunt, her sister, is there looking after her, and he took this as a vulnerable moment. My dad, he's going to sweep in, and he's telling her that since he thinks Terry's not there,
right?
So he says he's going to come in and take me and Mike and just run off with us or do something crazy like that. And so she got enough. He gave her enough of a heads up that she was able to let Terry know. So Terry was there, and then the ass whipping happened, and Mike and I cheered in the kitchen and watched it all, and then he drove away. And we never saw him.
Now,
again.
Did you miss him at all?
Never. He was we killed Satan. It was the greatest.
And
Hitler's
you didn't feel
he was
like
so
any...
awful, Judy. No, when someone is that awful, and you see all the ugly shit I do, I just want bullies for the rest of my life to get the fuck beat out of them.
That's amazing.
Right. Someone should take the president of the United States right now behind the fucking barn.
Can Terry go?
He's busy. He's busy.
Yeah. Does Terry probably likes him? Does Terry like him?
I don't know that. We don't get into too much.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes her. I've never heard Terry Henley say he likes or dislikes any politician. He's a businessman. He plays the middle of the road.
What about Mike and your mama?
Gloria doesn't like him, but
really?
She didn't like Obama either. But she doesn't like him. She was Team Hillary. Gloria was.
Yeah, I love Gloria.
All about the girl power.
I love you, Gloria.
All about the girl power.
Welcome to Play It, a new podcast network featuring radio and TV personalities talking business, sports, tech, entertainment, and more. Play it at play.it.
So, all right. So then you grow up in Alabama.
So yeah, we ran him off, and that was it.
But you were a good student.
Sure, I made all A's.
So you're the smart.
Yes. They went on football scholarships. I went on grades.
Right.
So all the Henleys went to Auburn for free.
Were they all like, Vic, you're an asshole? Why are you so smart?
No, I helped them with their homework.
Where do you think you got your smarts from?
It is the Henley side of the family.
It is.
It's my dad's side of the family.
Okay.
My mother always talked about, and it's funny because I'm a comic, so I don't really do anything, and we're kind of lazy sometimes.
Right.
And so that's what she always talked about was that she goes, they could work a goddamn crossword puzzle in 8 seconds, but ask them to get a goddamn job. Ask them to put 1 ounce of labor into anything. Oh, sure, they can tell you 27 words for black.
That's so funny.
But they were lazy. They were like, 2 of them were ministers.
Right.
They were just a bunch of idiots.
Wow. So all right. Yeah. So then were you popular in high school and stuff?
I was. My friends and I thought we were like Ferris Bueller, where we just tried to get along with everybody.
Right.
And we were, a buddy of mine was on the wrestling team, and I was, and then I knew the dweebs from the good grade club.
Right.
And I was on the math team, and then we were in the other club that had nothing to do with math, and we were in the fishing club.
Right.
So we were just idiots trying to beat the teachers. That's all high school was about for us, for me, and we did a hell of a job.
And then when your brother Terry was at Auburn and like Mr. fucking Star,
okay, right.
Did you go to all the games and everything?
My job was, I was telling somebody this over the weekend. I was 10, so he's 21, 22. I'm 9 or 10. My job was to sit in the stands with his smoking hot girlfriend of the moment.
No way.
Yes. And so I would sit in the stands with dates, make sure she got all the Cokes and hot dogs or whatever she needed. And she had her little butler, Henley, was sitting there next to her. And then when the game was almost over, I would leave her and go down to the fence because I could wave at the state trooper. They knew I was Terry's brother, and they would let me on the field, and I would run in the locker room with them.
Wow.
And so whether they won or lost, I would go in there and see the joy and see the defeat.
Did they all love you?
Oh, there's 2 or 3 of us. It was me. There was 2 or 3 of us that had enough of an age gap that we got to do that, and they all did. The coaches loved us. They treated us like kings.
God.
It was the coolest thing in the world.
So
it was a childhood like nobody else ever had.
Were Terry and Mike on the team at the same time?
No. Terry graduated and Mike came in. So when they were in high school, they got to play once. When Mike was in the 8th grade, Terry's last game as a senior, they let Mike dress out with the varsity.
No way.
And Mike was a kicker also. And so Terry scored the touchdown, and Mike kicked the extra point, and the Henley boys beat somebody 7-0 that day.
No way.
Wow.
And that's the only time they got to play together.
So
I'm getting chills telling the story because it's totally true.
Wait, if you went back to your high school, did they have all like little plaques?
There were
shit?
3 jerseys retired in the trophy case when I was there. When I was in high school, there were 3 jerseys. 2 of them were Mike and Terry.
Wow.
And the other one was Coach Burgess, who was Mike's coach, who then later won the national championship at Division II at Jackson State. So yeah,
were they good?
All football.
Was Auburn good back then?
Terry, oh God, Terry
he was good, but was Auburn good?
Terry, they went. The 3 years they were there, they beat Alabama 3 out of 4.
Oh wow!
They finished in the top 5.
Wow.
They finished all 4 years in the top 5. Mm-hmm. Sullivan, the quarterback, when Terry was a junior, won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
And then Terry, it still is on the record today. In 1972, he is the last white man to lead the SEC in rushing.
No way.
Yes, to this day, he is the last white man to lead the SEC in rushing and touchdowns.
So
They
wow.
had Bo, and that was the end of that. Record.
It all came right. It all came. Okay. Well, when Mike got there, he had James Brooks, William Andrews, and Joe Cribbs, and all 3 of those guys at one time led the NFL in rushing.
Oh my God!
Wow.
And so Mike couldn't get by those guys, so he started with the party crew, and then he got in trouble with the weed.
Let's just take a pause for all my gay and lesbian listeners.
I'm ruining it. Yeah, we can switch it, Judy.
This is a learning experience for you, and I think that you should just take it in and appreciate it. All right, so
I can tell you how Terry was friends with Curtis Johnson, the openly gay biology teacher.
Really?
And nobody enjoyed that at all.
He was openly gay.
Well, you kind of knew.
He was
lived with he lived with his mother.
So what we're going to do today, everyone take out their beakers.
And he was funny.
Take your beaker out.
He was so dry and hilariously perfect. I was mad that I didn't get him.
Right.
And I don't mean
he must
that
have been a great teacher.
He was an amazing teacher, and the entire community loved him.
Right.
And he was a basketball star. But he is flamingly gay.
Right.
And it was so much fun growing up watching these rednecks have to deal with this. Because he's the pillar of the community.
Right.
He keeps the score at the back. He's Curtis Johnson. He lives with his mother. Everybody knows he's gay. But no, and it's just burning them in hell.
I love that.
And me too. And all my friends and I, we don't give a shit. When we're growing up, everybody knows that you wouldn't talk to him for 10 minutes and not know he's and also not appreciate him for being brilliant and funny and dry and just smart as a whip. So Terry immediately and all the football players liked him.
Right.
And they were like, who you're hanging out with? And he's like, yeah, Mr. Johnson. That's who I'm goddamn hanging out with.
Yeah, you motherfucker. Let me show you a picture of what I did to my father, you fucking asshole.
But there were 2. There was Curtis Johnson and then Mr. Denson. I forgot his name. And he was the government teacher. And that same thing. And these were the 2 flamboyantly guys. And so,
everyone take out your textbooks.
Yes. Come on. Let's go. We're seeing a movie today. Yeah. Okay, what does Old Yeller have to do with government, Mr. Denson? I just like it. It makes me cry at the end. It's so sad.
That's so funny. So wait. So then, all right, you went. So you were in Auburn. What'd you study at Auburn?
Finance, as we say in the South, finance.
He is the biggest, the smartest person with that accent in the history of the world.
I was going to be a stockbroker.
I'm convinced. Really?
Because I was good at the numbers. It's legalized gambling. A lot of the classes you take, they just give you they'll say, here's $100,000 and you get to manage it for a semester.
It's statistics.
Yeah, it's all it is. Yeah. It's legalized gambling, and I like that. The nerdy idiot in me was always good at stuff like that.
And then you graduated?
Graduated. During the fall, I had a previous roommate of mine had moved out to Phoenix, Arizona. And the rest of us had always talked about leaving the South. And that meant not going to Birmingham.
Right.
If you went big, you went to Birmingham. No, if you went big, you went to Atlanta. Ooh. Yeah. Birmingham's 60 miles away. Atlanta is 90 miles away. So if you most people just stayed in our town.
Right.
If you went crazy, you went to Atlanta. If you went second crazy. So some people went to Dallas. We don't even know what happened to them.
Right.
No. So my friend went to Phoenix, and he liked it, and I went out there and liked it and interviewed and got a job. And,
where'd you get a job?
Dean Witter.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I drove across country.
Wait, do they still have Dean Witter?
No, I don't think so.
But they had those commercials, right?
Yeah.
Well, I forgot what that was. All right, go ahead.
I don't remember. It was E.F. Hutton.
E.F. Hutton.
Yeah,
it was the one where everybody stopped.
When everyone E.F. Hutton talks.
But
people listen.
This is before cell phones and everything.
Right.
So I drive across America, and I get there, and they're like, hey, we normally get 2 training spots. I was a December graduate, so they say normally we get
early or late.
I had to go 1 extra semester.
So Henry's going to have to go.
I was
one
late.
Extra semester.
But I was running a bookmaking operation.
Oh, all right.
So.
Oh, he was just fratting.
No, I made $19,000 in my extra.
Okay, that's fine.
In my extras illegally.
Yeah.
So I got out there and they said it's 2 spots in January to start training you, and then 2 spots in June, and we had you slotted for the January, but we only got 1 this January. Something happened in the pipeline. And I'm like, I drove across country for you. And there was somebody in the office had a nephew or somebody, so nepotism got me. And I'm like, I don't really want to take your job now. I don't believe you. And I'd always wanted to do stand-up and had just planned on it. And so I'd been to open mic a couple of times and chickened out. And
you went there and then
watched
didn't
the
go.
show and then took my name off the list and chickened out.
Right.
And so that day, leaving Dean Witter, I went home and I told my roommate. He was always encouraging me.
Right.
And so when we got home, I'm like, well, your dream's finally coming true. I'm not working for those fucks. Let's get the paper out. We're writing some jokes.
No way.
Yeah.
What was this guy's name?
David Broadfoot.
Okay, that fucking name.
Broadfoot. Yeah, and he had big feet to make it.
What does he do? What does he do?
He's dead now, but
what happened?
I know it's got drugs, bad drugs, you know.
Oh my God, these fucking stories. All right,
these pills are killing America.
So where was your first stand-up? Where was your
in Phoenix? So Broadfoot,
what place?
It was called. It was a bar. It was a bar called After the Gold Rush in Tempe.
What year was this?
85.
Okay.
This is March of 85. Right. And so they had a regular stand-up show that had local comedians that were getting like $20 each that were pros.
Right.
David Spade's on that show.
Right.
And so I'm in the old where you do 5 minutes and you let the audience clap and the winner gets $50.
Right.
And so
wow, that's a lot for them.
I know. And so there's only 4 of us in the contest. I win the $50. And so, I'm on cloud 9. I think I'm Richard Pryor. I'm walking around. Oh my God.
Yeah. Do you remember what jokes you did?
I don't know. I remember, a bunch of stuff about my accent and because it was like a Western theme bar that had like the peanuts on the floor and shit.
Oh God.
And the hay bales in the corner.
Yeah.
So
did you get laughs?
I certainly, in my mind, I got enough to win the $50. And so I made a bunch of comments about, how the country motif made me feel, especially at home. And this is what my living room looks like on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Just it was teed up for me. So then I wrote some stupid jokes about my mom.
Right.
I think every comic talks about their mom.
No, I didn't know that. All right, go ahead.
And I did. I literally, to this day, if I ever feel stuck on something, you
can talk about your mother.
I can think about the last conversation I had 2 days ago. I was talking to Gloria. My niece is getting married in 9 weeks, and so she's bitching. She's got to buy another outfit. They've added another party.
Right.
And she's like, you've got 9 weeks. You've got
get
9 weeks to get one more outfit. Well, when you feel horrible half the time, that's only about 4 weeks.
Ridiculous. and a Jew would be like, I have to get another outfit.
It's going to take me 9 weeks to look at every store in the country.
I have 9 weeks to try on every fucking outfit. All right, so
that's anyway. That's
so
how
you did it, and then did you stay in Phoenix?
Yeah, for about a year. My first year.
Just doing stand-up?
And they.
Did you live on that $19,000 of fake money?
Yes, I had a bunch of things put away. Spade came up to me that night and said, "Is that the first time you've ever done this?"
Yeah.
And I went, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay, don't tell anybody that, and I'll tell you the names of some of the idiots that booked the little piddly stuff that we do around town for $30 here and $40 there, and just lie and say you did stand up in Alabama." And I gave him my phone number, and the next day my phone started ringing with all these versions, every Phoenix version of Roger Paul, and
right,
every bad, horrible Tony Camacho.
Yeah,
just they're all calling me because Spade gave me the recommendation. So it took me a few months there to get going, and then
did you bomb a lot, because
you
didn't know what you were,
I was so cocky. My next time on stage,
of course, it's always the shit.
After murdering the first time, I'm walking in there 10 feet tall and bulletproof and just chewed my own balls. Just did not a chuckle, but you're really not funny. Next, just all over me. But then a club opened in Birmingham during this time. So during
Birmingham, Alabama.
So during the first 6 months of me fooling with comedy, the club opened there, and my brother Terry is an insurance man, and he got that as one of his accounts. So he was the insurance man for this club, and he's telling the owner, "Well, my brother's doing this, or at least he's telling us we're doing. We don't know what he's doing. We haven't seen him in 6 months.
Right.
He's in the desert." And
he's in a meeting with the Russians.
Right. And the club owner goes, "Well, tell him to send me a VHS. Everybody's got a tape. If you can get him to, then I'll give him a week. I'll hire him. And,
Right.
and there was another club. He was affiliated with the Punchline in Atlanta had started around
Right.
then. So I had done some bad gig where they taped everybody. And
Right.
I ran the guy down and got my little 8 minutes or whatever it was and sent it off.
Did he make you pay for it?
And so, no, he watched it. He watched it and hired me.
No, some of them
they did back in the day.
remember they
Comedy
used to
Zone,
go-
Brad Greenberg, that
Yeah.
motherfucking pile of shit.
So they videotape the show and then
Yes.
be like, "You have to pay me." I was like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, it's crazy, awful.
Because
He
we didn't
started that.
have cameras yet or anything.
Pay to play.
Well, that's what Klusman made a whole living.
Oh,
in.
Remember Pete Klusman?
Oh, God, he made
yeah,
a
but he
fortune.
was really good. He
Yeah.
was such a
He was
nice
good
guy.
at
He was fair, right? That
Yeah.
was fair.
Yeah,
That's
he
not
never
what the club
he
was.
never
business.
ripped
No, yeah,
anyone
no, he was a
off.
videographer.
What
He
does
was
he
not a
do
club
now?
owner. Who knows?
Oh my God, I forgot about Pete.
He's in the woods
Klusman.
somewhere. He's
He's in the bunker.
He's in a bunker.
Wow,
Somewhere.
remember he was so odd.
He did a great job.
I think
though.
he was.
Remember, and he put edited it
Oh, I
together.
mean,
He was
flawless.
great.
Yeah,
Pete Klusman.
Absolutely.
I love Pete. He
Yeah.
taught me everything I knew about a little bit.
So anyway, that's how I got my.
Do you think
first
he ever
week.
had sex with anyone?
No.
Where can people find you, Vic?
At Twitter, at Vic Henley on Twitter, and on Instagram, I'm at Vic Henley. On Facebook, and VicHenley.com. And I'm at Gotham this Sunday.
Wait, no, because you're not
it's
on yet.
But I'm on the road with Ron White and Kathleen Madigan. So check those
God,
websites.
by two of my faves.
Yeah, check those websites. I'm with him in Morristown, New Jersey. In August.
Very nice.
Hampton Beach, New Hampshire, and Kathleen's coming here at the beginning of the year next year, and she just called me this afternoon about some of those dates.
Great.
So yeah,
God.
I'm always around.
Leonard, what about you?
I'll be at the Comedy Cellar as always, probably
Yes.
for the next
Yeah,
month and a
because
half.
Esty fucking loves you.
I hope so.
She loves it.
There, the Strip, Stand Up
Yeah.
New York, sweating.
That's right.
I'll be
Yeah.
sweating at Stand Up New York.
I live down the street from Sam, and I still won't go there. Okay?
Well, I can't.
I can't deal with the fucking bullshit. All right. Well, thank you all for listening to Kill Me Now. And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.